It finally happened. We finally know the official launch date for God of War Ragnarok, and as reports and tweets from developers have kind of suggested for the last month or so, it is indeed still set to release this year. November 9th, 2022 is the official date, so mark your calendars. The announcement came alongside a new 30-second teaser trailer, which at the time of this recording has already surpassed 2 million views. In it, we see Kratos and Atreus mopping up undead Vikings on a mountainside until Kratos is knocked down into a dark forest filled with more frostbitten warriors. There's non-diegetic narration from Kratos and Atreus, who are reciting a type of creed, which ends with, "When the fear and doubt are a burden too heavy to bear, remember this, you are not alone." At this moment, we see the father and son duo square off against a giant wolf, who many are suggesting could be Fenrir, a giant wolf in Norse mythology who also happens to be the son of Loki and Angerboda, a character who was shown off in the first God of War Ragnarok gameplay trailer. I'm carefully placing my words to avoid direct spoilers or potential spoilers here, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about the source material, Viking lore, to kind of explain what makes this trailer interesting. So if you're sensitive to spoilers, you're probably going to want to skip ahead. I think Sony Santa Monica has their kind of own take on Norse mythology here, so we're all probably safe. You're probably safe from spoilers, but I just wanted to give you a quick warning. Basically, Fenrir, the giant wolf, was feared by the gods, so they bound him to a rock with a chain. Tyr, that big guy from the other trailer, actually loses his hand in the process, but basically Fenrir is held captive for a long while until eventually he breaks free and then goes on to have a very significant part to play in Ragnarok, which is, basically Viking doomsday. It's easy enough to look up if you want to know more, but I just wanted to share what makes this 30-second teaser trailer really interesting and really effective at hyping people up. Maybe Kratos and Atreus are not squaring up so much as they might be just saying hi. In addition to the release date announcement and the teaser trailer, Sony provided details on all the versions of God of War Ragnarok, including a 7-minute unboxing video for the 2 most expensive versions. Obviously, there will be the standard version at $60 on PlayStation 4 and $70 on PS5. If you don't have a PS5 yet and you buy the PS4 version and you want to upgrade later to PS5, that's going to cost you an extra $10. That's not really anything new. They kind of retroactively changed that after the whole Horizon Forbidden West debacle. Then of course there's the digital deluxe version, which includes cosmetics for Atreus, Kratos, the Blades of Olympus, a mini digital art book, the digital soundtrack, an avatar set, and a PS4 theme. There's no official price yet, but it looks like if you buy this version, you get both the PS4 and PS5 versions. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting and maybe even a little controversial, depending on your take. The more expensive collector's editions of God of War Ragnarok, and they do look like they might be pretty expensive just based on the way they look, don't have official prices yet, but what they also don't have contained within them is a physical copy of God of War Ragnarok. Yes, that's right. In addition to the digital goods previously mentioned, the collector's edition comes with a dwarven dice set, a pair of wooden figures, a replica of Thor's hammer from the game, and a steel bookcase. However, that steel bookcase doesn't have a game inside, just a voucher code for the digital download. The same is true for what PlayStation is calling the Jotnar edition of the game, which comes with all the previous things mentioned, but also a set of pins, a fancy ring, a cloth map, and a physical 7-inch vinyl record of the game's soundtrack. I should mention here that the dice in the Jotnar edition are not additional to what you would get in the collector's edition. They're just different. So they're specifically referred to as Brock's dice, and they kind of have like a different color treatment to them. So it's only one set of dice with changes based on which version you get. However, of course, as I mentioned, a physical copy of the game is still missing from the most expensive version of the game. And yes, that's in lieu of a voucher, which does net you both the PS4 and PS5 versions, but it does seem a little strange to pay a premium but not get that physical copy of the game. The obvious irony here is that if you're a collector and you want to complete your collection or your collector's edition or Jotnar edition of God of War Ragnarok, you're actually going to have to buy the game again. You're going to have to go out and find a physical copy of God of War Ragnarok to take the disc out of that and put it into your collector's edition steel bookcase, which just kind of sucks. I think that PlayStation charging their most loyal fans twice, for the same game is kind of a bummer there. I know you do get the PS4 and the PS5 edition digitally, which is cool, but I think for a collector's edition, collectors probably want to have a physical version of the game. Obviously, God of War Ragnarök is not the first game to do this. This is kind of becoming the standard now, so I think it kind of sucks. But on the other hand, I guess maybe companies could argue that they're saving a little bit of money on pressing those discs and on like the logistics or something, and so that they're able to kind of put cooler stuff in the collector's editions of games. But I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty hard argument to make. Pre-orders for God of War Ragnarok are opening up on July 15th. So we're going to know the official costs of these boxes then. And I would probably just batten down the hatches, because if they're really expensive, I think there's going to be a whole nother swath of angry God of War fans out there on social media. All right, that's going to do it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think about the physical copies of God of War Ragnarok being absent from these collector's editions. Thank you everyone for watching, and for more video game news and updates, be sure to stay tuned right here to Inside Gaming.